What a fantastic session. And I'm so happy with all the initiatives that all three of them are taking in preserving our cultural heritage. And I really cannot wait to see what the future holds for them. And finally now, to our long overdue session, we delve into the enchanting world of Identity in a Whistle, Jingwai Lawbei, a mother's love song, featuring Rothel Khongsit and the Kongthong Village Ensemble. Joining him as discussant is Dr. Madeline Tham, an authority in English from the Khasi tribe of Northeast India, with an illustrious academic journey that reflects a blend of intellect, culture, and compassion. Alongside her is Rothel Khongsit, whose profound expertise in this unique art forms adds a captivating layer to our exploration. Get ready for a deep dive into the world of whistling, identity, and love songs. Please give them a warm welcome as we begin this enlightening conversation. I just want to make a quick change. Dr. Madeline Tham is also the INTACH convener of Meghalaya.
Good afternoon to everyone present here, our guests from abroad and our hosts in Nagaland, especially Madam Senti, who's the convener of Nagaland chapter of INTACH. I'll just give most of you, since we are not from Nagaland and we are from another state, nearby state, I'll just give a short introduction into the state of Meghalaya. Meghalaya is a state bordered by Assam and Bangladesh. And there are three main tribes in the state of Meghalaya, the Khasi, Garos, and Jantias. And Khongsit and the Whistling village is actually located in the East Khasi Hills district of Meghalaya. The Khasis were about 1.5 million Khasi speakers, and at present we are trying to get Khasi language registered in the each schedule. The whole government and the people are trying for that. And the Khasi tribe are a matrilineal society. We take the mother's surname and the property goes to the youngest daughter. So we have very structured roles for men and women. Men are supposed to do all the work outside the house, and the women take care of the children and the family and the property. And usually at the birth of a son, while naming him, which we call they usually have a presentation of 3 arrows, one for the clan, one for the family, and one for the tribe. So this is just a brief history about the Khasi people. Another concerning the matrilineal, not to be mistaken for matriarchal. Most decision makers in the Khasi family is usually the maternal uncle and the father. So even though the clan surname goes from the mother to the children. And usually amongst the Khasis, as in totality, we never usually use our given names. In a family, if they have brothers and sisters, we have the tradition of, if it's a boy, we call them Baba, Badeng, Baret. And if it's a girl, we call them Tete, Dudo. So we have these pet names among, and the given name or the Christian name or Jer name is usually used only for official matters. And coming closer towards Kongthong is the same tradition that they have in their village. I have visited Kongthong. I'll just show you some pictures which I took while approaching the village. of Kongthong, which is really a beautiful place, and I welcome you all to the Khasi Hills. It's 54 kilometers from Shillong, en route to Cherrapunji, Sora, and it is a very unique village, and you must have heard about Khongsit mentioning Iawbei. So Khasis believe, the traditional belief, that the Iawbei is a kind of a fairy godmother. Only the newborn children can see the Iawbei. So when Khasi baby, the babies usually, of course they say it's flatulence now, but when a baby grins or smiles, and the Khasi mothers always say that she's smiling at the Iawbei, the kind of all-in-all protector. So as I approach Kongthong, I just want you to I want to share with you these beautiful pictures. And from Kongthong village, you can see the Bangladesh plains. Another important factor that I want you to notice about the Khasis, however poor the sense of aesthetics and the love for nature, I see these all tattered little cottages with flowers growing in the garden, so that they have the sense of aesthetics in them. So this is as we approach Kongthong. You can see like a small little hut over there, but with the cosmos flowers blooming in the garden. So these are the views you see as you approach Kongthong. This is the village. And something about life in the Khasi villages. On weekends, they really have more of a social life than some people in the city. They have their football matches, then they have their, they're very fond of bow and arrow competitions. So that will be going on. Then the women have their little stalls of food, and then the football matches and all that. So this is the entry into Kongthong village, and this is the Khasi traditional dress of the dancers. I just took this because it was market day, and these girls and women were enjoying some ice cream on the roadside. So this is Rothel Khongsit's homestay in Kongthong village. Very beautifully done, and very nice local food can be enjoyed over there. And I think we're trying to get UNESCO heritage tag for our living root bridges, and you find them all over Khasi Hills. This is our Khasi traditional dress. It's also very famous for pitcher plants in their villages. You see it growing wild. That's me, evidence that I did go to Kongthong for this program. And this is the homestay of Rothel. And there's a village market day, they're having their hookah on the roadside. Yes, Cherrapunji is parallel to Kongthong. Yeah, and that side is Cherrapunji, and this Kongthong is here. Okay, so now I hand over the stage to Mr. Rothel Khongsit and his team from Kongthong village. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you once again to the organizer for giving us this opportunity as I have promised yesterday that we will share more experience about our living tradition which have been practicing in Kongthong village. So now I'm very much happy that Madeline has explained about our Khasi tribe, Khasi community especially, and the whole story about Kongthong village. You know, this Jingwai Lawbei, or this song's name or whistling name is still like not like correctly translated, I can say. But actually the real meaning or the real name of this tradition, we call it Jingrwai Iawbei. It is like a mother's love song, where a mother composed for her newborn baby. So I'll start explaining more about this, and I request you all that please don't mind, because actually I couldn't speak well. But you know, this is my passion. This is my love for my own tradition, since I was still very young that time. You know, this tradition happens because of mother's love for her newborn baby after she was giving birth. As a mother who takes care of her baby, she is very much happy, and at the same time, that happiness and love, so spontaneously, it comes from her deep heart to express in the form of tunes. Actually, it's a humming. And you know, when a mother composes these tunes, say after 2-3 weeks, when she's fully healthy from that condition of giving birth for a new baby, then while taking that her baby on her lap, she expresses her love and happiness along with her baby until she gets the best tunes according to her. And you know, as a mother who is the composer, while she's composing the tunes for her newborn baby, she's trying to find the best tunes according to her. And then secondly, she'll try to compare with other people in the village. If these particular tunes, which I'm composing for this newborn baby, whether it is similar or not with someone else in the village. If it is similar, then she will change, because she knows that when this baby is grown up, when we use in our day-to-day life for communication, confusion might be there because of similarities. That's why a mother, by composing the tunes, she will ensure that these new tunes, or Jingrwai Lawbei, which she is composing for her newborn baby, is unique and different from everybody in the village. And then, when we are grown up, we use this Jingrwai Lawbei in 2 ways for communication. You know, inside the village, for calling someone, we don't call his or her name, but we used to sing or whistle by his or her song's name or Jingwai Lawbei. And this whistling always done by the male, not the female. But for singing tunes, we use both, for male and females. And the full tunes we use when we go outside the village. When we go to the field, suppose I'm walking in other side of the hill, and maybe my friends or relatives are walking in other side. It might be 2 or 3 kilometers. But we used to sing during the daytime, or maybe before going back home, before dark. And once you use these tunes, only that particular person can respond to that. And nobody can respond on behalf of someone else. So now, to understand much better about this tradition, I will request my team to come here, and they will show how we are using in our day-to-day life in Kongthong village. One. Okay. Now I'm calling, his name is Feeding Star, but that is how we used to call. Okay. His name is Tujan Lendra. So this is, if it is near, then we used to whistle. Otherwise, if it is too far, then we used to sing. Because no, if we whistle, then it can go to a very short distance. But if it is far, then we used to sing, so that it will go loud and clear. Okay, now I will call another teams. Sorry, I have a fever, it seems. No, maybe. One. De. Okay. And then okay, let them stand there. So this is, our parents, before going to the field or before having lunch morning time, suppose if the children are going back home, then they used to call by just calling these tunes. And suppose if one of her children, maybe son or daughter, if they are doing something wrong, which their mother don't like what they are doing, at that point of time, as a mother, she's angry. When she is angry, she's no more in a good mood. When she's no more in a good mood, she couldn't sing anymore. And instead, if she want to call them with an angry voice, then she will call by his or her name. So from the calling itself, we can understand and we can realize that my mom, she's angry of me because I have done something wrong. But when there is a normal call, then she will just whistle or just calling tunes by just singing tunes. So this is how we are practicing in our day-to-day life. We have been living this tradition since time immemorial, but since it is a part and parcel of our life, we don't realize about its uniqueness. We live with it. Until in the year 2002, there are someone from outside when they came in the village. And when they saw that someone is shouting and someone is responding, they are surprised. They are missionaries. And they said, what is this? Someone is shouting from here and someone is responding from there. And our villagers, they told them, this is the Jingrwai, which we used to communicate each other by calling our friends, relatives, or our children. So from that point of time, in the year 2004, there's one local news channel in Shillong, the PCN, has documented Kongthong and highlighted in their weekly news. And since that time, people of Meghalaya get to know about this Kongthong village. And even we ourselves, as the villagers, we get to realize that, wow, we are having really the very unique tradition, which we should be proud of it. Since that time, I was still studying in class 11. But because I'm the one who knows at least to speak English, when someone from outside they came in the village, I'm the one to interact with them. Though I couldn't speak well actually, but I'm trying my best because I realized that we are the only people who live with this tradition. If we are not the one to explain, who will be? Because we know it better about our own tradition. So from that moment only, that passion, that love of my own tradition keep growing in my mind and my soul. And then later on, it goes like that, where when someone from outside they came in Kongthong, the village head or the Rambashlong, they used to call, Rothel, you have to come in the village because tomorrow someone will come to interview about this Jingwai Lawbei. And then I have to be in the village. And slowly and steadily, I live with this tradition. And with the support of all the villagers, we are thinking, we have a dream that maybe one day we should do something to conserve and promote it. Because that just to conserve is not enough. At least we have to do something so that it will bring the benefit for our own people. Myself, I've taken the initiative to form the cooperative society under the name the Indigenous Agro-Tourism Cooperative Society to promote this tradition and the whole village under the cultural tourism, where people from outside they can come and experience our unique tradition which we are having. And that happens in the year 2012. It takes me almost 8 years to convince my dear friends and villagers to come up at 15 numbers to form this organization. And then later on when we start this, there are some villagers that are against, because they say that if someone from outside they came, then they will destroy and they might impose their culture to our culture. But I said no, we just showcase our tradition, and they will be the one who will showcase to the whole world, share to the people that Kongthong has this unique tradition. And then slowly people realize that we have done the best approach to conserve and promote our tradition. And then later on, it goes like that. In the year 2018, there's one MP from Delhi by the name Professor Sinha. He's the scholar, the professor in Delhi University. He speaks in Parliament that government of India should take Kongthong to include in the UNESCO as intangible cultural heritage because of this unique tradition. Everybody was surprised because they don't know about this Kongthong village. But later on, when he got a chance to visit Kongthong in the year 2019, when we present and when we saw people, they are really living with this, then he declared to adopt this village. After his adoption, we have seen that government of India has got the interest to do something to recognize about this unique tradition which we are having. So this tradition keeps on living because of our friends, the scholars from all and abroad. They used to come there and to document about this unique tradition. Yes, as of now, we are 723 people in the village, which means that we are having 723 different tunes, but there's no record at all. I mean documentation of these tunes. Our forefathers has passed by. Their tunes also has gone by. Millions of them has gone. That's why we are thinking that at present we should document so that it will remain for the next generation. And we do hope that with the intervention of some concerned department like the Department of Arts and Culture we have in our state, maybe they can do something so that we can conserve this tradition in a much better way and we can live with this tradition proudly. Okay, now we just assume that our team here, they are in the opposite hills where they are working. So I request them to communicate, to sing the tunes, exchanging the tunes as how we are living in our day-to-day life in our in Kongthong village. So I request both of you to take a mic and do the same as what we are doing and living in our Kongthong village. Okay. Okay, you can start. Okay. No, actually there is no conversation. It is like a humming. We just chanting it. We are just singing it tunes only. Yes, identify each other. Means that there is no lyrics or no conversation. It's like just expressing by singing the tunes. This tunes is like a humming only. And you know, suppose if someone sings for, suppose I sing for him. If he's not there, even if his wife she is there, she could not respond on behalf of him. This is a very simple and honest practice where we don't play or make a jokes with this. If we call anybody, means that we need to know where he or she are. So this is how we are living with this, this tradition or Jingrwai Lawbei. And maybe you might be misunderstood or maybe confusing because we call whistling. See, this whistling comes from the people from outside. Actually, in Kongthong, we call it Jingwai Iawbei. It is like a mother's love song. But when the people from outside, when they came in the village, when they saw that the boys used to whistle for their friends or relatives, and then they call whistling. Yes, no doubt, using both. We used to sing and also we used to whistle. That's why, means it's not wrong to call the whistling tradition also, or the whistling name also, because we use both. Well, I think like anything to compliment or you want to ask more, then we will be very much happy.
Come back onto the stage. Jago na bro. Center table. Zoom out really. Wait.
Since you are communicating with the other person from on the other side of the hill through songs or through whistling, now supposing the other person on the other side is in danger, is there a certain whistle that you use?
Means if they are, I didn't
If they are in danger or they are in trouble, if they are in trouble, is there any way of communication or to identify that one is in trouble?
No, sir, there's no like that, but we just shouting, you know. If at that moment we used to shout or sing, like sing someone for help. And you know, it is interesting, like in our Khasi community, we used to believe that in the forest or in the jungles, there are some bad spirits which we could not see by our own eyes. So that's why when we go outside the village, because we want to hide somebody's life, you know, like so identity. Suppose because my name is Rothel, if we call in the forest like a high Rothel, if that bad spirits or ghosts, they might hurt my name and they might catch my spirit and I might instantly get ill. And sometimes people used to die also instantly. So to avoid of that, you know, identifying of that bad spirits for somebody else, then we don't call somebody's name in the jungles. We used to sing or whistle by his or her Jingrwai Lawbei, these things. And this is very much helpful also. Like when somebody is missing in a very crowded places, it happens so many times. Because they are villagers, then we go to Shillong and some children missing. So it's very difficult to find them if we call by his or her name. But once we sing by these tunes, wherever they are, then easily we can find or trace them. This is the technique where our ancestors are very intelligent enough, where we use this as a mode of communication. Though it happens because of love, of mother's love, but when we are grown up, we took this as a mode of communication inside the village, in the field, and even in a very crowded places or congregation.
Hello? If I could just add another thing which I observed while going to Kongthong village, is, if you notice, it's on top of hills, and they're cultivating and farming on the slopes of the hills, and I think a lot of echo happens. So if you call out somebody's name, it might get distorted, while a whistle or a tune doesn't usually get distorted. So I think that's a very good way of communicating with in their farm areas and slopes, isn't it? Any more questions?
Yes, sir. There are some nearby villages also, they used to have this tradition, but it seems like it is not popular that much. So as per the story of our elders, Kongthong village is the original, I mean like the beginning of this tradition, and it spreads to these nearby villages because we are living in the same areas. And you know, like to add more, like if someone from the village, they stay in Shillong or some other places, though they are originally from Kongthong, but since they are living with other people, and they are living with the, you know, like they don't have any more this practice as they are in the village, they totally forget this tradition. Once we don't speak our local dialect, once we speak the official Khasi language, then we totally tend to forget this tradition. It happens so many of us, like there are some of them that are staying in Shillong, even they are originally from Kongthong, but the children, they don't have these tunes because they are living in a different environment, I can say. So the nature, it seems, are the one who inspire our mothers to have this tradition.
Are there no villages within East Khasi or West Khasi?
No, sir, only in this area of Ashnong, there are some villages near Kongthong, they have this tradition. Not in East Khasi, I mean in East Khasi or West Khasi or giant hills. No. It is only particularly in this area, small area of Kongthong. That also we get to know after Kongthong has been popularly known. Otherwise, we thought that they don't have that.
Is INTACH doing something to preserve this village or any other agency?
I think they've got a lot of support from the central government. MP scheme, can you talk about the MP scheme that was and the visitors from the parliament recently in Kongthong village?
Yes, regarding conservation, particularly for this tradition, till now nobody has taken the initiative. But for the overall of the village development, we have got the sanction from the government of Meghalaya under the tourism department. Means like to improve our life standard at the same time, but means to adjust as per our local tradition or local culture.
Adopted village scheme?
Yes. Government of India also because has sanctioned about 7.5 crores because this MP has adopted under the SAGI, the Sansar Adarsh Gram Yojana. So we do hope that this will happen soon. But to document properly about this tradition, till now there is no initiative by any institute.
No film or
So many films, hundreds of films has came there, so many people are doing that. But means to document each one of us in a very systematic manner as an archive means there is no one doing
Yes,
that.
we'll do something when we get back home to Shillong.
Maybe.
I have one question, if there is, may I ask something? Yeah, hello.
Yes, ma'am.
It's a wonderful tradition. You mentioned that you are 723 people. That means you have 723
Tunes.
unique
Yes.
tunes. So I'm wondering, if a new baby is born, how do you assign a tune and how is it going to be different from the rest of what you have?
See, I have mentioned before, like, after a mother giving birth for a newborn baby, so that mother only, she will compose the tunes for her newborn baby. And while composing the tunes, as I have said, she will try to find the best tunes according to her. And then secondly, she will try to compare with other people in the village. If that particular tunes which I'm composing is similar or not with someone else. So once she ensures that this is similar, it's not similar, then she will make it permanent. And then she will keep on singing that tunes. And then firstly, the whole family will know it. And then later on it spreads to the neighbors. And then as that baby is grown up, then the whole village will get to know that this particular tunes belong to that particular baby of that family.
Thank you.
There's a question.
I think this is kind of related to what ma'am just asked. So just say that there's 73 unique tunes existing right now, and then say a baby's born and the third generation comes. Is there a way where a previous tune that was there with a great-grandfather, can that name be again used again for maybe a great-great-granddaughter or grandson?
No, thank you, ma'am. See, since there is no documentation or record, means once a person died, his or her tunes also we don't use anymore. And once a new baby comes, then a new tunes will come.
It's an oral
So there is no
tradition.
repeat. Yes.
So that tune that he was called with, that dies with him.
Yes, ma'am.
So
we don't
in-
use anymore.
You don't use anymore. Then how are you going to remember that suppose in another 50 years or so, and that generation of people who have been there, so how are you going to remember that that tune was used and it died with somebody? So how will you remember that? Because you don't have any record about it.
See, that is our problem. We don't know exactly whether I will be similar or not with someone else, maybe our great-grandparents, because there's no record. So means once a person died, means we totally forget. And then once a new baby comes and the new tunes will come. It will not be similar no more. So that's why, as of now, at present, we want it to be documented so that it will be remembered in the times and generations to come.
Yeah, because especially if you are very particular about not repeating the same tune, then there has to be some kind of a documentation which will be required. I think so that's one of your areas where you will have to
Yes, ma'am.
take up very soon.
Any more questions? From the audience? About,
We have a question up here.
yes.
Hi. Oh. Hi. This is regarding the documentation. By the way, I loved your presentation. That was really nice. So when you say that each whistle is new and you don't have record of the previous whistles, and if you keep documenting the whistles, then do you think that in the times to come there will be a lot more pressure on creating newer whistles which do not resemble the old ones? Because right now it seems like a very self-sufficient system where if somebody dies, the whistle is gone, and people who remember that whistle is also gone. So you probably are reusing a lot of the whistles now, which is easier to work with, but once you document it, then there'll be a pressure to keep creating a new one.
I know, I think because our mothers are very intelligent enough, I can say, and we have been inherited with this skill or talent. So I think that will not be a problem.
Sorry, just to counter that, because documentation has not yet happened, you know that it's not been a problem because you created new tunes thinking that it's not been used before. But once documentation happens, then it'll be a new system. And that's what I just wanted you to sort of think of.
That too I cannot predict what will happen.
Yeah.
But we do hope that means mothers or our ladies will know how to compose a tunes, which should not be similar with someone.
Maybe we will, another thing, do we all crave for education? And we are here also because most of us are, from the educational background. It's scary to think that a time will come, maybe they won't be into farming anymore, and it's a loss of this tradition. So documenting it would help in a way in preserving for future users. As it is, Bah here has finished his master's in which subject? In Khasi. So, we are going into a field of literacy, and as we forget our oral tradition, so maybe to keep it alive, we can do a small documenting project from INTACH, and we look for funds from UNESCO.
Definitely, yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
I have just a very simple question.
Yes.
For all of us again, if you could kindly repeat your names again, so as to know
Yes, yes.
each one's difference,
Definitely.
the affliction or the tonal quality or whatever. If all of you can again repeat it, then I guess we can have some kind of a sense about who is who, and then perhaps maybe we'll know in future how the tune could be changed or how a new tune could be composed.
Given.
Can we
And
have
another
a round?
thing, just
Yeah,
to add to that,
yeah.
if you visit Kongthong village, the elderly women can come up with a tune for you, a special tune just for you. But
Okay.
you have to visit Kongthong for that.
That's very interesting. Yeah, that's
That's a
that's
very
going to be
good,
one of
tourist
that's going to be one of
attraction.
our wish lists. Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
kind of a tattoo.
Yeah.
You get your own
Yeah.
tune.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, could we again repeat your names again? Yeah.
So, sir, before we go and repeat our tunes, yes, just to compliment with what Madam has said, the only challenges which we are facing now, because we in Kongthong, we have up to opera private school, and most of the children, when they want to for further studies, they have to stay in Shillong or some other cities there. So if since the child age, like they stay in some other places, and they follow the other way of living, and sometimes they tend to forget this tradition. So we are afraid that if we go away from our village, and also at the same time, if we don't follow anymore this agricultural practice, definitely there is a danger sign where it can get lost. So that's why we request the government actually, if we have a school, at least up to secondary or higher secondary in the village, and when at that age, they are grown enough, and if they leave the village also, they already know everything about the traditions, how their parents are living and practicing. So this is the only problem. We are thinking that if we urgently we don't have this change or the approach from the government, that will be the point of weakness, which might affect our tradition. Okay, anyway, hopefully things will change in a very positive manner. And yes, now again, I would like to request our team from Kongthong Village to introduce the official name and Jingrwai Iawbei.
So my name is Bansahburomlang Riahtam, and my whistling name or Jingrwai Iawbei is
Short.
My name is Rothel Khongsit, and my whistling name or my Jingrwai Lawbei is my short version of my short tune is
My name is Shaktimon and my Jingwai Lawbei is and my share is My name is Beautylyne and my song's name or my Jingrwai Lawbei is My song's name is
My name is Stojanana, and my Jingwai Lawbei, or my song's name is. And my short song is.
And you know, this tunes also like is different from one person to another person, because sometimes there are some models who are the best composer. There are some of them they don't know how to means the tunes are not that good enough, but still they can compose the tunes, because this is as per their talent and skill. You know, like just to be to inform you, the models of Feeding Star and Beautylyne, she's the best composer. She has 4 children and she composed the best tunes for them. And you know, as a token of love for our Honorable Prime Minister also, because lots of schemes has been implemented in Kongthong after the adoption of this MP. So her model, she composed the tunes for our Honorable Prime Minister. When these tunes has reached to the ears of our Prime Minister Modi, where he tweeted, he thanks people of Kongthong about this, you know, like a gesture of love and respect for him.
So can we hear that?
Remember? Okay, I asked his feeding to sing a modest tune composed by his mother, which is now publicly. Okay, I will do it. Yes, that is the tunes composed by his mother for our Honorable Prime Minister. Yes.
So, you were mentioning, I think just a quick brief, you gave a brief context that when you're working in the forest, you don't use the actual name because an evil spirit could snatch it. So is that how the origin of this whistling or humming came? Or I'm just wondering, like, is there a correlation with that and your humming culture?
No. Originally these tunes came because of mother's love and happiness. But you know, our ancestors are very intelligent enough. When we are grown up, they took this as a mode of communication. So we use like it is 2 parts. Means it comes because of mother's love for her baby, but when we are grown up, since there is no mode of communication, we are living in a very remote village, so it seems that there's no other opportunity, only these things which we can communicate with the people. So that's why we took this as a mode of communication when we are grown up.
Hello, just get back to you on that. The Khasis are generally, you know, they have this superstition that you shouldn't use your real name. So even as I had explained earlier, among siblings, we don't call each other by our given name. We say that Baba, that means eldest brother, then Badeng is middle brother, then Kongrit is a middle sister, Dodo is the younger sister. In all families, we use these terms to, you know, among siblings and within the family. And the given name is usually just used in schools or in official occasions, you know. So there's the belief that, you know, we're trying to protect our identity, and superstitious belief also that if you go through the forest and, you know, evil spirits might hear your name, and then at night when you're sleeping, they might call you out and you might go into the forest, or you get, you know, into another realm. So there's these fairy tales and you know, stories that we have in our Khasi tradition.
But this also happens also. It really happens also in our village. Because suppose for me, for naming me Rothel, then we have the naming ceremony as per our beliefs, and we used to perform the rituals. But for naming a person by tunes, there is no ceremony. So it is only a communication between human beings, we do believe, because we don't pray to God with these tunes. The song's name means only for human communication, but this name is we perform the rituals where we do believe that not only human being, not only God, means every creature, even the modern nature also, we get to know about me. So that's why we used to pray also, wherever we go, that God will protect. And to hide our name, then we took this secondary name, yes, as a secondary name where we can hide our real name.
We have an equivalent to a christening ceremony called Jer. So we have, the whole family has to come together and choose 4 or 5 names. Then on a betel nut leaf, whatever with the Khasi wine, whatever stays, and then only that name, and only that name is suitable for that child. So and then we have this Jer pujer, which everybody partakes, to eat from. This is the Khasi.
Yes.
The Saint Khasi.
Only the Khasi who still believing in the indigenous.
Yes, the indigenous religion of the Khasis.
Saint Khasi is a religious organization of the Khasi tribe, Khasi people.
Yes.
There's a program of the government which is called Vibrant Villages for border villages.
Yes.
There's a program of the government called Vibrant Villages for border villages. So I would request if we could examine whether possibility exists of. You have to check on that. So whether some funding is possible from that.
We can document these cues, and it will be an interesting presentation.
Community-based program which the community avails of.
Yes.
So your community should try and avail of this.
Thank you very much, sir, for the suggestion.
Thank you.